We're live.
Okay, folks, good evening. Welcome to the fourth Monday in the month of February. Today is the 22nd day of February 2021, and we're started about 5 minutes late. It's 5:35 right now. So the first thing we're going to do, this is a Scottsburg Public Works and Safety meeting. So let's have a roll call. We'll have the clerk treasurer do that for us, please.
Mayor Amick.
Here.
Aaron Grucius. Here. Tom Lewis.
Here. Okay, so everybody is in attendance. The first thing we have is the approval of the minutes for the February 8th meeting, please. We'll accept the motion to accept them as presented.
I will make a motion.
Karen Gracious makes the motion. Is there a second?
I will second the motion.
Tom Lewis seconds. Any questions, comments about the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, unanimous, thank you. Next is we have our department heads. So we have Miss Stacy Skinner here. Are you going to do this for tonight or you for council?
That's for council.
Council, okay. Would
I'm
you
just
like to say
here.
anything?
It's going great.
Ms. Skinner represents our broadband and fiber optic. Fiber optic is going all through Scottsburg, is that correct, Ms. Skinner?
Yeah, we have our first project that's hopefully going to get rates today.
Okay, so we have our first quadrant coming in. So with fantastic service and fantastic pricing. So that's coming. We have also Ms. Pinkley. Do you have anything for us, Ms. Pinkley?
No. Well, I have some sewer adjustments there.
Okay.
Just a handful, and Karen's already signed up on them. If you'll sign up on them, we'll get those approved for our customers and get their adjustments to account. But other than that, all is good.
Okay. What else do we have? For our department heads, anything else?
Yeah.
I have two claims that I need to request to be approved before the next docket, so we can pay them before the next Board of Works meeting if they come in.
Okay.
One is for Sweetbriar Media, and it's to pay them for the domain that they purchased for the city. And then that's for $2,000, and that's just for some website stuff. And then the second one is $25,000 to the Wheatley Group, and we just want permission to pay it upon receipt for the EDA funds.
Okay, and what is that for, Jen? Is that for
That's
services?
for $500,000.
Well, that $500,000 we got.
Yes, once we get that, thanks. We do have a contract with them.
Right, it is.
But we're expecting that money very soon.
Sure.
We want to be able to pay them for half of the services.
Sure. Tom, do you understand all that, buddy?
Yeah, do we need a motion for each individually or both together?
Both together is fine.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept those, to pay those papers.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous, okay.
Thank
So, okay, so basically we have Carmen. So that's complete, so,
For treasurer's office.
okay. Jan doesn't have anything for the clerk treasurers. I have a question, but it's gonna be down to new business that will come about for the electric. So I'm gonna wait for a minute for that. So let's skip on down to, the approval for fee waiver, request from the Mid-America Science Park. What's that about this?
We have two different requests. The first one actually came in last night, and that is the health department in the state of Indiana are wanting to reserve the science park for 3 days this week and then again in 3 weeks to administer COVID vaccines. And so they are asking for a fee waiver. They will be using that facility for 12 hours each day, and they are looking to get 1,800 people through. And so they're requesting that we waive the fee for that since it is for a public service. And that's the first one that I have. The second one that I have is from Bill Butner with the Scottsburg High School bass fishing team. And they are requesting to be able to use the back part, the event hall area, the concrete area of the science park 1 day a week from now until mid to late March for 1 hour at a time, 10 to 15 kids to be able to practice indoors since they can't practice outside during the winter and the inclement weather. And so that's the two requests that I have to waive the fees.
Josh, you know what that's about?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, is that not one of the greatest classes you could ever have? Well, at Scottsburg High School, we have a bass fishing class, or contest, actually. It's team sport. So he's talking about.
Scholarships are becoming more and more increasingly popular.
And they actually were very successful in the past 2 years that they've been a team. They've had kids go all the way to state and win, and so they're a very successful team.
That's exactly right. So folks, Scottsburg is a fun place to live, so come on down. So do we have a motion then to, Tom, do you understand the health department, what's going on there?
Yes, yes. My only question is, I assume that this is not conflicting with any other needs for those spaces.
It is not, Tom. No, we've cleared space. This is such a great event, so.
Right.
You know, our health department, I think, currently has, let's see, 1,200? Now,
600 a week. They got 1,200 this week for last week plus this week.
we got 1,200 inoculations that's going on this week. And then also the state's sending down at 1,800 more. So this is going to be, this is going to be able to help our area here in southern Indiana. Okay, so we have a motion and it's been seconded. Is that correct?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay.
Now it is.
Now we do. Okay. Any other questions, comments after a second? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's unanimous. I have one here by Jim Binkley that he is the head of the electric department. And we have an electrical engineering company that he's had before with me an approval proposal for 2021 ad hoc professional services. And I called him about this and I said, as long as you will run that through me before, I need to get an exact cost what that engineer's going to charge us. So he said he would, but he wants to have the board of boards approve this so that he could use them. He feels that we are receiving a line loss. And he's doing all of the footwork just to be able to give the figures to this engineering company to be able to calculate, are we having a loss? So the engineering company, or IMPA, does not agree with what our current, they don't believe our current engineering company is correct on it. So Bink's getting a second opinion as well. So I guess I would entertain a motion to approve.
Yeah, right, ask a question if I could, just make sure I understand. They think they're losing, losing watts, or what is the line off?
He feels like he's losing about 3% of power in the line, in the length of line that is running.
And so then he has to take measurements, give those measurements to the engineer, and they calculate, that loss.
That is correct. He's trying to confirm that he actually is having a loss. IMPA is saying that he does not. And the engineering company we do have saying we are. And so I think Jim was wanting to be able to have a second engineering company confirm the figures that he has.
But who's the current engineering company?
You know,
Alpha
who?
Engineering.
Alpha Engineering.
Alpha?
Yeah.
Okay. And who's he wanting to get as a second opinion?
The second one here is,
Spectrum.
Spectrum, that's who it is. Yeah, Spectrum.
Second, okay, I understand, thank you.
Okay. So is there a motion to do this knowing that I'm gonna want a price up front? You know,
Right.
I don't like surprises.
So we're just basically giving you the authorization to, accept or reject it, when the fresh comes in.
That's correct.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
Okay, Tom Lewis makes, is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Bishop seconds, questions, comments, concerns? I hope, folks, if you're at home, it's clear as mud or better than that, so, we just want you to know we're very careful how we're spending your money. Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, so let's go down to new business. The new business tonight is gonna be talked about here, but it's also gonna be talked about in city council, probably at some length. We're gonna have probably a public meeting as well. This is resolution 2021-R-1, a resolution authorizing construction and installation of improvements to the sewage works of the city of Scottsburg through a certain build, operate, transfer transaction, and taking other certain related items. Now, we have in here Mark Sullivan, who's here, who is with Midwest Engineering, and Mark represents the company that we chose of probably 30 to 40 companies we looked at, engineering companies. And Mark has been a partner with the city of Scottsburg and has designed a plant that, we have a continuous batch reactor plant. And what we're installing is a sequence batch reactor plant. We are doubling the capacity from our current capacity of 1.35 Tom, as you know, but we're going up to 2.7 now. Instead of a 2 million gallon or 3 million gallon rain event, we're going up to 7 million gallon rain event. The previous plant, the previous administration plant, was an oxidation ditch at 2 million gallons with a 6 million gallon rain. We're 2.7, not 2 million, and we're also another million over on the rain event. So that's what we're doing, Tom. We're also going to repurpose the existing plant. It will not be used for reactors, but we're going to have, we're going to be utilizing every piece of equipment out there. So just to give you a heads up. So, and the cost of that, Tom, is $13 million. So, now we did have a ban. Do you remember when we were on city council, we passed a ban for 1.4 million. And that, with that ban, that went to purchase the equipment to film, that went to purpose for that big, shop vac on wheels, and also sleeving equipment. So you can actually sleeve lines from the inside. The rest of it then went for engineering. And then when we borrowed the other 6.8 million to keep the TIF going, they didn't use any of that to pay off that 1.4. And instead, they actually increased it for 1.7. So right now we owe 1.7. So we're going to be after tonight, Tom, Karen, just so you guys know, it's going to be the 13 million to build the plant and adding into it the 1.7 that's never been taken care of yet. So it's going to be a total of about $14.7 million. That's what we're looking at. So I guess we need a motion from the Board of Works to go forward, just to tell council that that's what we're looking to borrow. With that said, also, Tom, this is out in a field where the city did purchase property all to the north. These new reactors will be put in the new property. And then the sweet thing is, 20 years down the road, if they need to add another 3 more, they can add another 3 more. Another 10, 20 years down the road, they can add another 3 more. You can keep on going all the way down to the woods. So it has a lot of build-out capability as well. All right. What questions do you have?
The previous design, just to clarify again, the previous design, the cost of it was, what, 18 to 20 million? Is that correct?
It came in, Tom, it really came in probably close to 15 million in 2017 terms. 14.7, 14.8, something like that. And they were adding in this TIF bond as well. They were also adding in 2 million in collection, and they had another, I think, million or so in engineering. But that was 2017 numbers. So it came to, if you add all that up, it was 18.5 million. And in today's money, it's probably, if you did the same thing, it's probably going to be more like 20 to 22 million.
Right.
So, and it was,
I just wanted,
it was a
just wanted to
total,
make sure I was clear on that. And
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
but the main thing I want you to know is it's totally a different,
Right.
we're staying with what we have, sort of. I mean, Bill, our previous administration, when he said that continuous method didn't work, he was right. They didn't work very well. And our guys have made it work for these 30 years, and it's paid for, and we're reutilizing it. It's a concrete pit. We can still use it for our post EQ. We have a lot of things we can use it for, and we will use that instead of having to continue to build more. Then it could have been more money. Whereas the other one was building a whole different, it's an oxidation ditch, a totally different animal altogether.
Yeah, I understand all of that, and I just wanted to make clear and kind of get it in the record that this is cheaper than what the other system was, and it's more capacity and greater, rain event capacity as well, so.
That's
It's a
exactly right.
win-win for us.
Yeah, it's a win-win for the citizens. And with these numbers, we should not have to raise any rates. That's what I want people to know as well. The rates we have in place, should not have to be raised. Now, we have another entity that is giving us a tremendous amount of stormwater when it rains. And so we're having to deal with that. So there's things
Understood.
there's other things going on that way too.
Yeah.
So,
So, again, to make it clear, put this motion, our motion is to, approve the borrowing of the money to accomplish this.
It's approval of the
Correct.
resolution 2021 R1. Tom, this is Josh. We have Bo Zeller here as well, who is representing the city in regards to the BOT transaction. So if there's any specific questions, Bo is here tonight to answer those. But this would be the approval of the resolution. It's a two-step process under statute, so the Board of Works plays a role, as does the city council.
I'm trying to get clear in my mind the distinction between what our approval is and what the city council's approval is.
You want me to answer that? Yeah. So, as part of the, Indiana Code 523, there's a two-step process. You have a board, and then usually the council's the ultimate approval, but, here, the Board of Works or another city entity like a redevelopment commission, here we're using the Board of Works because it's a sewage works project. We'll typically approve an RFP, work on an RFPQ committee, so they'll review the request for qualifications proposals. Then they'll ultimately approve the RFP and the BOT transaction as well. Then it'll go to a council for final approval as the fiscal and legislative body of the municipality.
Okay, thank you for that, appreciate it.
any other questions, Tom?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, then we will entertain a motion to pass resolution 2021-R-1.
I'll make that motion.
Tom Lewis makes a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Karen Grisham seconds. Now's the time for questions, other comments. Anything else? Going once, going twice, going thrice. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. It's passed. Okay, we have the approval of Mr. Bo Zeller, representing the agreement on the BOT. So what we're doing tonight is approving, legal counsel to represent the city of Scottsburg alongside our one and only illustrious Josh Dignity.
Absolutely. So Tom, so you're in the loop on this. Bo is a professional in this area. He does a lot of government bond work, reissuance, and BOT agreements. It's a very specific area of the law that I felt that the city could benefit from his expertise in this area. So it's pretty common for cities, towns, board of works, et cetera, to have BOT counsel. So that's this agreement.
Okay. So we're making a motion to approve that, approve him.
That is correct.
Okay.
So instead of having just a general practitioner, we'll have enough for all of this as well.
Right. Understood. I'll make the motion that we approve.
Okay,
And I second.
Karen Gracious seconds. Any other questions, comments? Bo, any comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're ready to go then. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. Hang on, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. We're also having approval, Bo Zeller, I guess I should have done both of these at the same time. We have a TIF bond that was issued, Tom. In 2015, if you remember, previous administration said, guys, if we don't owe TIF any money, we don't borrow some money, then we're gonna lose our TIF funding, which was 1.2 million per year. So we borrowed $6.8 million. And we had to come out to the state and list different areas. And I remember asking council at that time, if we would to change these, is that legal? And he said, yes, it was legal. So we voted to go forward with that, and they borrowed the money. And all of that money has been spent. Wasn't spent on this bond, but all that money was spent. And, so right now, what we're looking for on TIF is giving Bo the authority to go and negotiate, is this correct?
Yes, sir.
With the bank, with West Banco, who has that $6.8 million loan, which is paid down to a degree. That's been 5 years ago. And, we have loan rates at record lows. So if Bo was able to do that, then he would get a part of that. We would pay him in. But my understanding is there's no payment unless you're successful.
There's no payment unless there's a deal that closes.
So that's what that's about. So, Tom, do you have any questions on that?
So, just to make sure I'm clear what you said, what we're trying to do is get a lower rate.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I can make it a lot easier. Sorry, folks. Boy,
That sounds like a good thing.
yeah.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah. All right, I'll make the motion that we allow Bo to get us a cheaper rate.
Is there a second?
I second.
I think that's a great thing to do. So any questions, comments, concerns? Mr. Zoller, do you have any questions or comments on this before we go vote?
No, sir. Hopefully we can get you a lower rate.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Done deal. So, absolutely, so do we. You know, the rate at that time was great. It was a 3 plus 3/4. You know, you think it'd been a great rate, and it was 5 years ago, and not today. And I dare say it probably won't be a great rate in the future either. It's gonna go up. Tom, the last thing we have is the Barnes-Thornburg agreement. And this is a legal counsel as well. So, we're asking your blessing on this and, to go forward with, approval of this agreement with, Barnes and Thornburg.
And what are they doing? This is the council to what?
This is in regards to one of the sewage customers that we have, that we have excess flow coming from, and we're examining.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
So we accept a motion to approve. Tom Lewis makes a motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Any questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous as well. Okay. Now, what have I missed?
Your announcement.
Folks, we have the one and the only, Mr. Greg Marks. Mr. Marks, you have anything to say?
No, I think tonight's gonna be the night we've been waiting for years, I think, to get the project approved and move forward, so should be a good council meeting tonight. And I'll be there to answer any questions, and I'm here to answer any questions you all might have right now.
Who has questions for Mr. Marks?
I have none.
Okay, okay. Well, you got an easy crowd this one. Well, I mean, and to Greg's point is this has been you know, the continuous batch with new technology back in the late 80s, early 90s when we took it over. So I know for a lot of years, they have wanted a new plan, and now here it is. So, and our wastewater treatment supervisor is very anxious. And speaking of our wastewater treatment supervisor, his name is Mr. Chase Harden, and we have a great guy. Chase is just a fantastic guy. And he just recently did study, test, and receive his Class 4 sanitation license. So we would entertain a motion to go forward. Once you get that, you're stepping up, you get another pay grade as well. So we would bring that before the board of works tonight to go forward and to reward him with his effort in upgrading his license to a Class 4. We'd entertain a motion for that, please.
So moved.
Okay. There's a second. Eric seconds. Any questions, comments?
Can it be effective yesterday for payroll,
You want it effective yesterday for payroll?
please?
Sure. Gonna make it easier on you?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to help Carmen?
Thanks, guys.
Wait a minute. I see Chase's Harden's head away from here. So, okay, we'll make it effective tomorrow. Tom, you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
I didn't mean, I mean yesterday. Yeah, start on Sunday.
The one that started Sunday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, so that's unanimous as well. I want to acknowledge our street department. Our street department has just gone over and above and beyond
They have.
the call of
They
duty.
have.
So they only worked all day, they plowed all night, and, you know. So, and folks, what did you give them? You gave them a meal and Cracker Barrel, and we thank you for that. And I'm telling these guys we put their pictures on our Facebook site, so when you see these guys, slap them on the back, shake their hand, tell them thank you. Because I tell you what, our streets were clean. I mean, down to the pavement. Now, we ran out of 250 ton of salt. And we had an order in for another one, but guess who took precedence? State of Indiana. And they have that for all along. So, but still, your streets were down there. We did use a little bit of sand. So I want to just say kudos for Scottsburg Street Department. I call them our road warriors. That's right. Yeah.
Well, the fire department sent by to help 2 guys, and they helped me to shovel the sidewalk. So
They
they
got
were out.
me too, like, help with the yellow.
Folks in Mayberry, this is what you get. You get folks that's going to help you. So if you're tired of bumper to bumper metropolitan area of 2 million, 3 million people, come on down to Scottsburg, Indiana. We've got a place for you. And you can buy more house for your buck here than you can there. So, what else do we have, folks?
I just need a motion to accept the claims as presented.
Okay, the clerk treasurer has a motion to present the claims that's submitted. Tom, is there a motion there?
I just wanted to ask, did you get a chance to review them?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I've reviewed everything.
Okay, I trust your review, so I'll make a motion to accept them as presented.
Okay, Tom makes a motion, Karen seconds. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. That's it. So what else do we have for this evening? Okay, hearing nothing, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
We're adjourned. Tom, tell everybody down in San Augustine or thereabouts wherever you're at.
Navarre Beach.
Navarre Beach.
77 degrees and like 4 minutes.
You have an entire room shaking their head.
See you, Tom.